Lovely stuff. Thank you guys so much. My thanks to Michael Ball, Sarah Cox, Jeremy Vine. You've been listening to Radio 2 All Stars. Search on BBC Sounds for more episodes featuring Zoe Ball, Tony Blackburn, Ryland, Bob Harris, Elaine Page and Joe Wiley, Trevor Nelson, Ken Bruce and Claudia Winkleman. This has been an Aura Elevore production, and this is BBC Radio 2 on your Sounds app, your smart speaker, and 88 and 91 FM.
It's good, isn't it?
It's very.
BBC News at 10 o'clock. This is Andrew Peach. The Brazilian football icon Pelé, considered by many to be the greatest player of all time, has died at the age of 82. He was admitted to hospital in Sao Paulo last month to receive end-of-life care for bowel cancer. He remains the only player to have won the World Cup 3 times and holds the record for the most goals ever scored. Simone Dias is the director of the Brazil Culture Centre in the UK. She says her country owes Pelé a debt of gratitude.
We are the country of football because of Pelé, because the 3 cups that he was there, because the way that he played, because the beautiful way that he played. And it begins a culture about football because of this man. And it's a very sad day, but we have that legacy that he left.
The former England captain Gary Lineker says Pelé was synonymous with football and explains what made him so special.
Well, Pelé's hugely significant in not only the development of football, but also in football itself and the enjoyment of football, which is the most important thing. It's an entertainment business, and he was one of the great entertainers through his pure skill, talent and ability.
The fashion designer Dame Vivienne Westwood has died at the age of 81. She made a name for herself in the 1970s as one of the creative forces behind the Sex Pistols and the punk rock scene in London. In a statement on Twitter, her fashion house said she died surrounded by her family. The government says the decision about whether to introduce COVID restrictions for people arriving from China is being kept under review as Beijing eases travel rules despite a surge in cases. Ministers said they had no plans to change entry requirements as some countries have, but were taking the situation incredibly seriously. Ukrainian officials have reported further damage to the country's energy infrastructure after the latest round of Russian missile attacks. At least 3 people, including a 14-year-old girl, were taken to hospital after the raids. The SNP has restored the whip to a party member months after he was suspended from Parliament for making a sexual advance to a teenage member of staff. Patrick Grady had previously apologised for the incident, which happened in 2016. People have their last chance for almost 2 decades to see an astronomical phenomenon this evening. A so-called planet parade is when all the planets in our solar system line up in the sky at the same time. Dr. Robert Massey is from the Royal Astronomical Society.
All of these planets tend to be distinguished from stars in the fact the way that they don't twinkle. You'll see Saturn quite a lot brighter than the adjacent stars. That should stand out. Further around from that in the south is Jupiter. That's pretty much unmistakable. It's brighter than any stars around it. And then further round from that is Mars, and it's got a sort of salmon red colour, so it does stand out.
There'll be heavy rain in the north tonight. It'll be dry and clear elsewhere. BBC News, it's 3 minutes past 10.
The Rhythm Nation Request Show. Listen live on the BBC Sounds app.
BBC Radio 2. Welcome to the show and welcome to the very last request show of 2022. So if you got your request in, well done you. Every single song on this show is a request by one of you guys out there. I have had to do no work other than sifting through. Let's kick off with Hilary in Nottingham, who's busy finishing knitted items for charity. Many thanks. Love the music on the show, she says. So let's open with Rose Royce and Wishing on a Star.
I'm